The rain fell like silver needles through the midnight sky, tapping against the tinted windows of Victor Langston's Rolls-Royce as it rolled through the sleeping city. Victor, a self-made billionaire known for his ruthless business instincts and icy composure, had just left another high-profile gala where politicians and celebrities praised his success. Yet beneath the tailored suit and polished image was a man haunted by silence. His mansion was too quiet. His victories felt hollow. And on that particular night, as the car slowed near a narrow, dimly lit alley to avoid road construction, a sound pierced through the steady rhythm of rain, a child's cry. It was faint at first, almost swallowed by the storm, but it carried something raw, something desperate. Victor stiffened. "Stop the car," he ordered. His driver hesitated, confused, but obeyed. Victor stepped out into the cold rain without an umbrella, following the sound that echoed against brick walls and puddles shimmering under broken street lights. Each cry grew sharper, trembling with fear. In the darkest corner of the alley, beside a stack of discarded boxes, he saw a small bundle moving. Wrapped in a thin, worn blanket was a baby, no more than a few months old, face red from crying, tiny hands reaching blindly into the night. Victor's breath caught in his throat. He had negotiated billion-dollar deals without blinking, but this sight shook him. Who could leave a child here? Who could walk away from something so fragile? As he knelt down, the baby's cries softened, sensing warmth near. Victor carefully lifted the child, holding it awkwardly at first, as though afraid his strength might break it. But instinct took over. He wrapped his coat around the infant and pressed it gently against his chest. For the first time in years, his heart didn't feel guarded, it felt exposed. A small folded note slipped from the blanket and landed near his shoe. With trembling fingers, Victor picked it up. The ink had smudged from rain, but a few words were still visible. "I'm sorry. I can't give her the life she deserves." Her. It was a girl. Victor looked down at the baby's tear-streaked face, her tiny breaths warming his collar. Something inside him shifted. He thought about his own childhood, about the nights he had gone hungry after losing both parents at a young age, about the loneliness that had hardened him into the man he became. He had built an empire to escape that pain, but he had never truly healed from it. And now, in this forgotten alley, life had placed a mirror in his arms. The driver approached cautiously. "Sir, we should call the authorities." Victor nodded, but his voice was different now, softer, steadier. "Yes. But she's not staying here another second." At the hospital, doctors confirmed the baby was cold but healthy. Police began searching for her parents, but as days turned into weeks, no one came forward. The note was the only clue. Victor found himself visiting the hospital every evening, canceling meetings, ignoring investors. He would sit beside her crib, watching her sleep, noticing how her tiny fingers curled around his when he offered them. The nurses smiled at the once distant billionaire who now hummed lullabies off-key. For the first time, Victor felt needed, not for his money, not for his influence, but simply for his presence. One night, as the city lights flickered beyond the hospital window, Victor realized something profound. Success had given him power, but this child was giving him purpose. He began the process of adoption quietly, determined not to let media attention turn her life into spectacle. When the paperwork was finalized, he carried her out of the hospital himself. The same rain that had fallen the night he found her now seemed gentle, almost symbolic, a cleansing of the past. He named her Hope. Back at his vast mansion, the silence was gone. It was replaced by midnight cries, scattered toys, and laughter that echoed down marble hallways. Victor transformed rooms into nurseries, installed playgrounds in manicured gardens, and started a foundation dedicated to supporting struggling single parents so no one would feel forced to abandon their child again. Board meetings became shorter. Charity work became personal. And the men once feared in corporate circles became known for something far greater than wealth, compassion. Years later, when Hope took her first steps across the same polished floors where business tycoons once stood in awe, Victor knelt with tears in his eyes. He understood then that the alley had not been a coincidence, it had been destiny. The cry he heard that night hadn't just belonged to a child, it had belonged to his own wounded soul, waiting to be answered. Sometimes, the greatest fortunes aren't measured in dollars, but in the courage to open your heart when the world least expects it. And if this story moved you, if you believe kindness can rewrite even the coldest destinies, make sure to subscribe to this channel and join a community that celebrates stories of hope, transformation, and the extraordinary power of compassion. Because you never know, one small moment of humanity might just change your life forever.